Move out of the way, sweetheart. This booth's ours now. The man's voice was sharp, laced with arrogance as his tattooed hand slammed against the cafe table. The young woman in the wheelchair didn't flinch. She kept her gaze steady, her hands folded calmly in her lap, though her chair blocked the gang's path. The cafe went quiet, the air charged with unease. "Didn't you hear me? I said move." Another thug leaned in closer, sneering down at her, but still she didn't budge. Behind the counter, the barista froze mid-pour. A family near the window whispered nervously, unsure whether to intervene. Her voice finally cut through the tension, low but firm. "I fought for freedom, so men like you could walk around without fear. Don't think for a second I'm afraid of you." The gang burst into mocking laughter. "You? Fought for freedom? You can't even stand up. What are you going to do from that chair, soldier?" They leaned in closer, their voices dripping with cruelty. The insult stung the room more than it stung her, but instead of anger, her lips curved into the faintest, almost knowing smile. She didn't reach for her coffee. She didn't move. She just sat there, a mountain of calm against a storm of intimidation. And then, just 10 minutes later, the rumble of engines shook the ground outside. Two matte black SUVs screeched to a halt in front of the cafe. The doors swung open in unison. Out stepped 8 men, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in plain clothes but moving with precision that betrayed military discipline. The cafe fell completely silent. The thugs turned, eyes widening as the men entered. No words needed to be spoken. These weren't ordinary men. Every step carried a gravity, a quiet authority that silenced the room without threat or shout. One of them walked directly to the woman, resting a hand gently on her shoulder. "Ma'am," he said softly, his tone filled with respect. "We came as soon as we got the call." The thugs blinked in confusion. "Wait, you know her?" The leader of the group turned slowly, his eyes locking onto the gang with a stare so sharp it could cut steel. "She's one of us," he said simply. "Decorated combat medic. Saved 6 of our lives overseas." Gasps rippled across the cafe. Suddenly, the wheelchair wasn't a symbol of weakness. It was a reminder of sacrifice. The laughter drained from the gang members' faces. One of the SEALs stepped closer, towering over the ringleader. "You think you're tough for cornering a woman in a chair? Let me tell you something. She's braver than you'll ever be. She shed blood for her country while you hide behind tattoos and threats." The ringleader swallowed hard, but the SEAL didn't raise a hand. He didn't have to. The weight of truth pressed heavier than any fist could. The woman finally spoke again, her voice carrying both steel and grace. "I don't need anyone to fight my battles, but I'll never stand alone. That's the difference between me and you. I have a brotherhood. You've got nothing but fear." The room erupted into quiet applause from the onlookers. The barista, tears brimming in her eyes, clapped first. The family by the window joined in, their young son staring at the veteran with admiration burning in his face. The gang shifted uncomfortably, their swagger gone. Their bravado dissolved in the presence of truth and respect. Without another word, they backed out of the cafe, their exit as pathetic as their entrance had been loud. One of the SEALs pulled out a chair at the veteran's table, sitting beside her with brotherly ease. Another brought her fresh coffee, setting it gently before her. No grandstanding, no revenge, just solidarity. The woman smiled faintly, her eyes softening as she glanced at her brothers in arms. "Guess I can't ever go unnoticed, huh?" Her comrade chuckled, shaking his head. "Not after what you've done for us. You'll always have us at your 6. The cafe returned to its rhythm, but something had shifted. Strangers who moments ago were silent now greeted her with respect. A man in a suit stopped by her table, murmuring, "Thank you for your service." The family's little boy walked over shyly, offering a napkin scribbled with the words, "You are my hero." The veteran's eyes glistened, her tough exterior cracking just enough to reveal the depth of her humanity. She wasn't just a soldier, or a survivor, or a woman in a chair. She was a living reminder of courage, sacrifice, and the kind of strength that no gang could ever intimidate. And as the SEALs escorted her out, the entire cafe stood, not because they were told to, but because respect demanded it. Heads bowed slightly, hands came together in applause, And in that small cafe on an ordinary street, honor came alive in the presence of one extraordinary soul. Because true strength isn't measured by legs that walk or fists that fight. It's measured by a heart that refuses to break, no matter how heavy the burden. Never mistake silence for weakness, nor a wheelchair for defeat. The strongest battles are fought with spirit, and the bravest warriors are often the ones carrying scars you cannot see. Before we end this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.